So next match we had here was the one that was actually divisive between the four of us here actually. Three-way match for the AEW Women's World Championship that had Jamie Hayter, the current champion, defending her title against both Saraya and Ruby Soho, with Dr. Britt Baker kind of loitering around on Jamie's behalf and Tony Storm loitering around on Saraya's behalf and everything. And the bad thing is by now I kind of forgot a bit of the match. I remember I was pretty excited though. I remember I did like the match. And I also did like that Saraya did look a lot better in the ring now. You know, the first time, you know, give her a break. She's been out of wrestling for 7 or so years. Here, she did kind of, you know, she did okay. Pretty good match. She was better at it and everything. As usual, there's distractions from Baker, distractions from Tony here and there, and stuff like that during the match. And what can I say? In the end, Jamie Hayter actually retained. I was a bit worried that she was going to lose her title, but she retained, and it's pretty cool. My opinion, I've mentioned before, I do like sort of lengthy title reigns. I don't like they won it in this pay-per-view and they lost it already in the other one, you know. So I'm glad that she's still the champ, and we'll see where it goes. But that's one thing I noticed. Saraya looked badass. She wasn't so green. She actually did her finisher, and it looked cool this time. Because sometimes it looks like, you know, she's still learning it. But here she did one of her finishers. Whoever she did it on still kicked out, but it looked like, you know, like convincing that this girl would have been flat out cold, but she still kicked out. So yeah, I liked it. I think we enjoyed it, Wendy. I think when we were watching it.
Yeah.
Can follow up on that with your thoughts?
It was a fairly good match. It didn't end the way I expected it to. Like I thought Ruby pretty much had it, but I was wrong. But overall, it was still a fairly good match. Saraya has improved since her comeback. She actually looks better than she did back in WWE before her injury. So yeah, it was a fairly decent match.
Yeah, I agree. It was pretty cool, but in all honesty, I think the ending to the match stood out way more to me than the match itself. And it was interesting that Jamie did retain, because I remember when I was, you know, we were making the predictions, I was really, really thrown. I said if any of them will win, it would either be between Jamie Hayter or what's her name? Was it
Ruby?
Saraya.
My brain did that. Saraya. Or,
yeah.
Saraya. I wish someone would tell me which name she wants to go by.
She says it's Saraya.
Anyway,
but that's...
anyway, Paige. So either way, she was going to lose. I was 1,000% certain that she would lose, because it wouldn't make sense for her to win the title off of Jamie. But at the same time, I could see Jamie retaining, but then I could see what's her name winning too. So it was like so hard trying to decide and see where it could go story wise. But with the way it ended, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, my prediction was wrong, but you know, it was more like a coin toss with that one.
One thing I do want to say though is that I'm glad Saraya's back, and she's back now wrestling against actual wrestling females, because unfortunately, back then, honestly, I think AJ Lee and Saraya Paige were the only ones that were actual wrestlers, while the divas and the rest were still kind of sort of like, you know, they're just there for the eye candy, but they weren't really, you know, they didn't really have much skill to speak of. And
that was my problem. That was my problem with WWE women's division back then. And even before that, you know, there were only like every once in a while you come across someone that was like an actually good wrestler. Like you mentioned, AJ Lee. I like Paige, which is why I don't like Sasha Banks. And I'm sorry.
It's funny because it's funny because you mentioned that, because also with back in the early crap era before the women's revolution or whatever the fuck they call it. What's funny is the women that could actually wrestle, they turn them into basically either arm candy or good example, Emma. Tennille Dashwood is a good wrestler, but what did they have her do? I'm like, no, have her wrestle, damn it. But like I said, no, I'm sorry, going off what you said. I was hoping, I only wanted either Saraya or Jamie Hayter to win. Mostly Jamie Hayter, but if not her, Saraya. I personally, I've said this when she was in WWE, but I've meant it has become more cemented now in AEW. Ruby has put too much stock mentally, but she can't back it up. Like, she's never been able to back up what she claims. She claims, like, I'll be a top champion. I'll do this. I can do this. I can beat anyone. I'm like, can you though? You can't even beat half of the mid card. Like, she's like, it's her skill set is like, it's like here. And like, good example, when Jade has more skill than you, and Jade is not like classically trained like the other wrestlers, but she has been trained. She has gotten a lot better than when she first started, and she's proven her worth. When Jade has more skill than you, and she's only been wrestling for a little over a year, and you've been doing this shit for over a decade, and you still suck? Come on.
Wait, she's been around how long? Ruby Soho's been around.
Yeah,
she's been wrestling.
Heidi Lovelace in the Indies, and in fact, I was really surprised
Heidi
when
Lovelace
she came over. I was expecting her to come over as Heidi Lovelace because all these people like Athena and them come back with their older names, Moxley and all them.
Yeah,
I'm surprised she came back as like Ruby Soho now, but yeah, she's been in Indies for a while.
But think about this: the fact that she's been in both WWE, AEW, and I think Shimmer, is the only promotion she's ever won a singles belt. Every other promotion she's ever been in, she's never won a singles belt. And I'm like, that's pretty bad, guys. Like, I mean, like, she honestly, like I said, like she's only good when she works off of people. She's the Janetti of women's wrestling. I hate saying that, but she is. I'm sorry, but she is. Also, I thought it was funny how shocked everyone was that Ruby turned. I'm like, she came in with her hair painted green. They were all wearing green.
You know, I didn't catch that connection. I didn't even notice that. I was just watching the match.
Yeah, they were all wearing highlighter green. Like Tony and Saraya were wearing highlighter green because they use they're trying to make it into a faction, but they don't. I don't know what they're going to call themselves. But then like
PMS.
Ruby, when she came out, she's got the all red and blue, all red and black, but then her hair's green. I'm like, oh, she's going to turn. As soon as I saw her, I'm like, she's going to turn. I can call it now. So I'm like, at first I'm like, oh, is this like a Joker thing? And then I remembered, oh, wait, they're wearing green. Okay, she's going to turn. But I was literally like thinking with, I also love what they're doing with Hayter because she is one of those women who has been so talented for so long, but she's always been at different promotions. Like in European promotions, she was in Stardom, where she would get literally like pushed up to a point and then her contract would end and she'd have to start up again. But now she's finally a champion and she's literally like proving her worth. And now she's got this whole, she's literally doing the Rainmaker. She's doing Okada's finisher, but she's calling it the Haterade. It's literally, but it is Okada's finisher, which I'm like, I think it's pretty cool. I'm digging what they're doing with her. I think she should get away from Britt Baker, but because I want to see Britt Baker and her feud. I think everyone wants to see that. Yeah. But right now, I love what they're doing with it.
I do want to say, Johnny, that one thing that you remember, John, remember a couple of years back that we were actually there live for the first episode of Rampage, and that was the episode where at the end it was like Britt Baker versus Red Velvet, which again I feel so bad for Red Velvet because she was the face, but it was like the whole Britsburg thing. Literally everything she did, the crowd was booing the fuck out of her, and it was so weird because Britt Baker was the heel, she was cheating, she was shit talking, but we're still cheering because Britsburg and all that shit, and Johnny got to talk to her the next day and all that. But the end of the match was I think that Velvet lost. And DMD started, being on her anyways, despite the match being over. I think Statlander came in, and then Reba came in, and then surprisingly, this woman with a hoodie came in, and it was Jamie Hayter. So that was her big debut, her re-debut, before the pandemic. And she was on there for a while, singles match when she had like the black and blonde hair and everything. So this was her big re-debut, and we got to see it live, Johnny. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome, and yeah, this match is great to see Jamie Hayter shine a lot more in this match, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. And I do agree with you guys. Ruby Soho, like, this kind of dare. Like, I don't know. Like, you would think somebody of her caliber, like, she would fight better or whatever, and I don't know. It's just like, the match was so good, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, maybe, let's just say it this way. I think Saraya was way better in this match compared to Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho felt like she's just like an extra there, just to have somebody there, you know.
That's what I'm saying. Considering she's been, how long was she sidelined? How long was Saraya sidelined? Like 5, 6 years?
Yeah,
like
5 or 7 years. Yeah,
5 to 7 years, and she's getting back in the ring, and she's still doing better than Ruby. And I'm like, wait a minute, this person who hasn't wrestled in like nearly like 5 years or over 5 years, like she's doing better than this girl who's been doing this weekly. Come on now.
Like I said, I'm glad that that she came back, because everyone was saying all their stuff and whatever. But I'm glad she's back, because I'm glad that she got to be part of this generation of actual wrestlers. That's why I feel bad that AJ Lee retired too soon. Had she stayed a couple of months more, she would have been involved having matches with Becky and Charlotte and Sasha and whatever. And because it felt like once the real wrestlers came in, AJ Lee and Paige were already gone. And then Paige had a second chance coming back with oh God, what were their names? Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. And unfortunately, what happened with Sasha and everything, and now she's back. I'm glad that she came back and everything. She defied all expectations. People were like, the people that only care about WWE and don't give AEW credit were like, well, yeah, Saraya's cleared based on AEW's doctors, that kind of shit. But no, she's legit cleared, and I'm glad that she's in there. And also, what was I going to say? I still want, if Mercedes Moné ever gets into AEW, even
rivalry,
like a match or two, maybe maybe not permanently, but how you got these guest people like Jeff Cobb and them come in for a match, have Mercedes Moné come in. Maybe she even come in for Forbidden Door. That could be a thing. Go to Japan, just come in for Forbidden Door, just for that one match, but not stay. You don't want her to stay. But I really want them to do the promo. Wrestling always does the thing where if someone gets injured for real, obviously everyone's worried. But once you find out that the person is actually all right, then they use that in their promo. You know what I mean? They always do that. Someone almost gets paralyzed. Oh, he's good now. So now the promo's like, well, last time I almost paralyzed your ass. That kind of shit. So I really want a match with Moné and Saraya. And then when you do the little pre-match promos, it's like, are you sure you want to be in the ring with me? Because the last time I was in the ring, I put you on the shelf for 7 years. Next time, I'm putting you down for good. You can bank on that, whatever she says now. I want that fucking promo. I want that fucking promo. And people are telling me like, oh, it doesn't count, Mark, another company. No, fuck you. I want that. Last time you were in the ring with me, I put you down for 7 years. Next time, I'm putting you down for good.
I have made it an actual personal thing. Anytime now I go to a wrestling show, I literally, because it always happens every time I watch a wrestling show, there's always one guy, and I'm always trying to be that one guy who screams the line from Karate Kid, the "Put him in a body bag." Because I love that line. It's so funny because it's just so out of it. It's so just random. I do it at the. It's so funny though because you just like you. I always do it at the like most random matches. Because I wait for like the comedy matches and then I'll do it. So it was like Danhausen versus like I don't know, like I don't know. If it was like
Danhausen versus a wall.
Versus like Jeff Jarrett, I'll be like, put it in a ball. But anyway, that's just me.
Versus a puppet. I mean, that dude is weird.
Yeah. He's
So
a good
anyway-
wrestler, though. That's what's so funny.
Yeah.
So anyways, in this match, I take the lead. I was the only one faithful to the hater rate. Jamie Hayter. Everyone else went for. Sorry.
What did? I don't think Will and Johnny didn't say anything.
No, Johnny did.
Oh, I did.
You
Oh,
did?
you did?
Johnny did as well.
Johnny didn't say anything though.
Yeah, because he was talking about how Ruby Soho is just there.
Oh, you did. I'm sorry.
You know,
My
she's
head's all over
just
the
like a
place. I'm
plank
sorry.
of wood. She's a plank of wood
you're
that
right.
Oh,
jumps
come on,
around the
man.
ring.
Not, give her time. She's not that bad. I'm also on Team Ruby. Just
No, I'm not
on
saying
Team Jamie.
she's bad. I'm saying for how long she's been in the game, she shouldn't be this bad.
Yeah. But anyways,
It's
I was
kinda-
saying, I'm the one on Team Jamie Hayter. I rode the hater rate train, so I won. Everyone else went up for. Everyone was backing Ruby.
Yeah, like I said, that was a tough one. That was like, it was more like a coin cost thing, you know? I was like, okay, I'm gonna just go with Ruby for this one. I can't make up my mind.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people have their like opinions, their whole like whatever, because Saraya, Paige, and whatever, Paige was never good, that kind of crap. So I kind of feel like despite, like I felt it was too soon for her to win the title. Like I'm sure we all would have been happy if she did, but I kind of feel that like the the interwebs would have been all like, woo, horrible booking by Tony and all that kind of bullshit. I kind of feel, what I'm thinking, but
You don't blame
down the line. One thing I want to say about Ruby, one thing I felt bad about her too is that WWE also didn't know what to do with her, but it kept like she would always have these mid-card matches, and during the matches, the commentary would always say that she was going to get there, future Hall of Famer, she's rising up, and yet she would still be stuck in fucking mid-card matches and just jobbing and But at least here she's getting more high-profile matches. Her skill, might have to improve, but at least she's getting more high-profile matches. She's not having crappy feuds with Natalia and whatever like she was in WWE. But anyways, you're gonna be going on about these girls all night, man. Anyways, the next one we have is the big one of the big ones. We got Jon Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page for the Texas Death Match. No rules and whole lot of spaghetti sauce. And what can I say? It was a crazy ass match. Literal crimson mask for Moxley and everything. And I mean, they had chairs with barbed wire. They were wrapping barbed wire around each other, doing the punch with it. Oh God, fucking Moxley with the fork just on the forehead. Every time I see that, I'm like, fuck. Like,
remember what I said about that?
Yeah. You were saying something about spaghetti or pasta or something.
No, that was you. No. I said he's a skinnier white version of Abdullah the Butcher.
Oh God.
Oh God.
And we had chairs covered in barbed wire. We had a big old heavy chain and stuff. I was waiting for the thumbtack. I'm surprised they didn't pull out the bag of thumbtacks or the bag of broken glass. We had a table set up with barbed wire and everything in the back that eventually Moxley himself fell on it and everything. And we had like what do you call it? The Deadeye Power Driver on the barbed wire chairs and shit and everything. And I mean, it was a hell of a good match. But the funny thing is at the end that Hangman got to live to his name because he literally won by hanging Moxley over the ropes with the chain, which made Moxley, tap out and whatever. And that's how he won. But it's like literal Hangman. It's like, that's what they call him, Hangman. You know what I mean? But that was a masterpiece, the whole match. A little bit too much blood, though. I saw Wendy there kind of wincing here and there. And even I was kind of wincing a bit because sometimes that shit was just dripping like fucking water, man. Especially for Moxley. But, damn. I just don't know the mentality that you have to be in that. Oh, we were joking. Me and Wendy were also joking about, like, if Moxley gets off to this shit, because he obviously does, because he left WWE because WWE wouldn't let him do that. Now he's here happy. We're both asking each other, what kind of fucked up shit does Renee do to Moxley in bed?
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking she pulls out like whips and chains, but the whips and chains are covered in barbed wire.
Yeah.
I just imagine him being like, she's like, She's like, "Are you ready? I know it's our anniversary." He's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Good, because I got the pizza cutter."
I got a
Yeah,
car
right on.
battery with some cables ready for you.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Okay,
I have a lot to say about this match. First of all, you know my propensity. I'm kind of meh about hardcore matches unless they're done right. This is an example of one done right. I liked the balance of like them using different weapons, them different, you know, the whole, you know, bringing out boards and making makeshift things. You know, the fork spot, which I was like, has he had that in his sock all this time or just for this match? Because then I just imagine him. Because then I just imagine him like on like on Dynamite, like them just going to Kraft's table, just go.
No. Moxley likes pain. He's stabbing himself while he's in the ring.
I know, but the visual of Moxley having a fork constantly in his sock and just pulling it out in case he doesn't have silverware to eat food is too good to not think of. Anyway, getting off track here. There's two things that happened in this match which made me smile. Because you know, you all who have watched this know I hate Jon Moxley. I've hated him for a long time. But there were two things that made me very much smile. One, this was the first time in his professional, and when I say professional, I'm talking about on TV. The first time I'm aware of in Jon Moxley's professional wrestling career, he's tapped out. Not been pinned, tapped out. Like actually tapped.
Yeah, that's right.
Second thing, and this is the better thing which made me smile and mark out, the hang that he did. The reason he did, and I was so happy and smiling, is because that's exactly what he did when he was in the Bullet Club. That's how he got the nickname, the Hangman. He would literally fight people, beat the crap out of them. When he came to the ring, he'd always carry a rope noose, remember? Yeah. He'd always carry a rope noose, and if he got into a heated feud, he'd wrap the noose around you and throw you over the ring and hang you. That's how he got the nickname, the Hangman. So I'm excited. I was so happy. I'm like, he brought back the Bullet Club noose. Yes. Like, I was so happy. But no, honestly, this has elevated more Hangman than Moxley. Moxley, to be honest, I think a lot of people are starting to wane away from Moxley. At least I'm starting to get that vibe. Because it's the same thing with the Bucks, where they overuse them, you know? Yeah, there he is. Yeah, with the noose. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's him with the noose.
Yeah, this was way before AEW even existed.
Yeah, that was back in the New Japan Ring of Honor days. That's when he had it. In fact, if you look up his old Bullet Club shirt, which I have, it was literally the skull noose. And then with a noose. Yeah, it was really cool.
Check it out, Johnny.
And then you know that movie does when he does the spin around, he goes like that, like with his fist. He did that. He did the spin around, but then he'd go like that for the gun. So like you go like bam, like that, like anyway. Me marking out about the Bullet Club. Sorry. Anyway, but I will say I'm excited and I hope that they actually do something with Hangman. I also would love it, especially with the build-up to this, if they would actually finally, after all this time, pull the goddamn trigger on using the Dark Order. Like, use them. Evil Uno proved he was good enough to fight Moxley for like, what was like 10 minutes? Like 10, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
15 minutes of just like carnage and blood, and he busted his ass in that match. He proved how good he is. And, you know, Silver and you know, John Silver and Reynolds, they're already already popular, so I don't know why they don't just pull the trigger on them, you know?
Now, the cool thing is next week, Stu Grayson's going to come back in the next episode of Dynamite as they all fight and everything.
I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Hangman, because I want to see him. I mean, hell, like Wardlow's the TNT champion. Have Hangman go after Wardlow. That'd be cool. Or have Hangman take out MJF. That would make me happy too.
Oh, yeah.
Or take out anyone. Just have him fight anyone in a high profile match. That would make me happy. I don't care.
We'll get to
love
Wardlow in a bit there. We'll get to Wardlow in a bit. I'll get into that one. But
I got stuff to say.
yeah. Any thoughts there, Johnny? We'll let William go last in this case, since Johnny is the man of few words, you know.
Well, this match, I mean, Adam Page is a good wrestler and all that, but I'm just not personally I'm not really like big on Adam Page or especially John Moxley. So, because at this point, his matches are just like way too boring and you know, like we've said many times before, it's just somebody who doesn't have much charisma, doesn't have much anything going on for him, and the only thing he can offer is just a bloody combat at every match there is. So that gets old after a while, and I'm just like, okay, whatever, cool. At least Hangman Page defeated Moxley, so I'm down with that.
Any thoughts on the weapons or the hanging or anything like that, Johnny?
Oh, I think the hanging's cool. You know, hey, Hangman Page, right? So yeah.
Real quick, one last thing I forgot to mention that I really liked. I hope they keep his new theme because I really loved it. I thought it was so cool.
My opinion on the match, for me personally, I don't care for matches with a lot of blood in it. I never have, because I don't like the idea of everyone getting hep C. But I just think it's so gross. But I mean, you know. But when it was a Moxley match, I'm just saying, here he is, the Ric Flair wannabe that gets off to being burned, hit, and scratched, whatever. When he kept scratching Adam Page's, that really got me. But anyway, no, the match is okay. But like I said, I don't mind matches with blood if it's like there happen to be like a match going on and they happen to bleed. But I don't like matches where you know they're going to bleed, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I just think it's so gross. Then I'm just thinking about Ric Flair matches. Like, But yeah, but outside of that, I'm glad Adam Page won. Anyone who knows me knows how I feel about John Moxley. I want him to go get thrown into a lake along with the Young Bucks and stay there for a while.
I still like that one meme. Someone posted a picture of an old match between Hogan and Flair where they ended up all bloody. So there's like a picture of both of them like staggering, all covered in blood after the match is over. And the thing says, "That's the last time I fly American Airlines."
I've actually seen that same picture, but it said, when two grandpas fight over a turkey leg.
Anyway, John Moxley to me is just trying to be a younger version of Ric Flair. That's just how he feels to me because he always doing those bloody matches. I hate it. But and the other thing, like I say, Moxley, I just think he's just, I don't know. He just seems too like the Young Bucks. It just seemed like he should go away. He's just old news to me by this point. I hate to say it because like at one point I did like him because I thought he was being held back in WWE because they say, he likes doing all the crazy stuff. But now that he does all the crazy stuff, I'm sick of seeing all the crazy stuff. You know what I mean? But either way, I'm glad Adam Page won. And even without knowing the details or anything else, or even remembering the details, I said Adam Page, I don't care. Adam Page better win. That's all I know. Hi, William.
Take it away, William.
Well, my views on it is, yeah, that was a phenomenal match. And yeah, I kind of get what everybody's saying about Moxley. You know, he's kind of getting tired of seeing him doing all the weird stuff. And I don't think he's trying to be a Ric Flair as much as he's trying to be a Japan Terry Funk in AEW.
Oh, I didn't even think that.
Yeah, that's true. He's
and
trying.
A lot of people are sitting there going, "Oh, this was too violent. This was too cruel." Look up New Jack, okay?
Oh my God, no.
I got 2 words for you if you think that was too bad. Mass transit.
Oh, the mass transit. I was talking about the mass
as soon as he pulled the as soon as Moxley pulled the fork out, I'm like, you know what? Somewhere the ghost of New Jack is laughing his ass off right out now. I mean, sure, it was brutal. It was pretty intense. It wasn't as intense as say like the previous match that Moxley had like that, which was the one with Kenny Omega. But it was still a pretty brutal match. And again, I love the simple fact that Hangman Page got to go back to his roots and hang Moxley over the freaking ring. That was awesome. So that was a good throwback. I was actually surprised like you said, he made Moxley tap, which is the first time I've ever seen that before. So yeah, big ups to him on that, but it was still a very fantastic match.
Yeah, you know what? Now that you mentioned the tapping thing, even that surprised me. You know that he actually tapped out of that, and also because I was cracking jokes at the same time. You remember that, right, Mark?
Yeah.
You know, like I said, he's being hung. He should be used to that. You know, he enjoys stuff like that.
Well, there was a clip that went viral, and it was Paul Heyman, and he talked about because remember he was the manager for Brock Lesnar about the whole situation where remember they were supposed to where Ambrose fought Lesnar at WrestleMania, and he told him, he said, I was in the room with them and they were trying to plan out the match, and basically he said the thing that people don't want to accept about Jon Moxley is basically that he's professionally unprofessional. He said what I mean by that is he's professional when there's corporations and big guys around. When there's no one around, fucking asshole. He said he's a total asshole. He said, if you don't believe me, watch him on that Stone Cold podcast. He was so unprofessional. But then he said on top of that, when he was planning out a match with Brock Lesnar, you got to remember at this point, Brock Lesnar was like a huge attraction, and he was still really big. He wasn't the title holder, but he's sitting there with Brock Lesnar in Lesnar's private dressing room telling him, this is what's gonna happen. Here's what I'm gonna do. Here's how this is gonna work. And he goes, Lesnar's just like, yeah, Lesnar just sat. He said Lesnar just sat there. He said for a good solid 6 minutes, Dean Ambrose told him, I'm going to do this. Then you're going to do this. And he said he just sat there saying nothing. And then he goes, what do you think? He's like, yeah, I'm not doing any of that shit.
You know what? I've never been big on Brock Lesnar, but my respect has gone up for him.
I'm like, he just literally was like, yeah, I'm not doing any of that shit. He's like, you think he's like, this isn't garbage wrestling. This is WrestleMania. I'm actually going to wrestle you. He's like, if you don't want to wrestle
whatever
me,
you
that's
call
fine.
it, just suplexes and F5s, whatever.
Suplex.
That's why that match was so boring, because it was just like it was Ambrose trying to figure out, what do I do? And Lesnar's like, yeah, I ain't pulling that shit, buddy. Like, you're fucking with the wrong guy. It would be like I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Like, no, what's sad to me is back when he was in WWE, Dean Ambrose wanted to do the stuff that he's doing in AEW, but he couldn't do it. Like, literally, this poor guy was like the Super NES Mortal Kombat of the freaking WWE. Like,
well, yeah, because he was he basically was if you inserted a Mortal Kombat character into a fucking Muppets movie. Like, what the hell? Like, that's exactly what he was. Like, could you imagine like Scorpion be like, I will destroy, like literally like taking Muppets and trying to rip their souls out and like disemboweling them, and they're like, and you'd be like, oh my god, this Muppet movie got fucking dark.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Like,
Scorpion versus
fountains
Beaker
of
would be
blood.
hilarious.
It would be great.
Come here.
No, but that's Moxley. Like, he says is, they wouldn't let me. I'm like, well, yeah, no shit. The stuff you want to do is stupid. Like, I hate agreeing with Jim Cornette. I don't agree with Jim Cornette with a lot of shit, but I do agree with him 100% on trash bag wrestling, which is like basically like backyard shit, because they hurt themselves for nothing. Like, basically the equivalent of like a day's work at a gas station. I'm like, who cares?
You know the correct phrase for that? It's outlaw mud show bullshit.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But like I said, I don't I don't get why people are like, and that's the other thing I also, to go on my rant a little bit more about Moxley, he tries so hard to be cool. Like he's that guy, he's all like walking in the room like this.
Look at me. I'm
like
cool.
Coming in, like looking at you, like thinking, oh yeah, all these women want me. Everyone wants to be me. And everyone's looking at him, what a fucking chode. Like that's Moxley in a whole nutshell. That's my opinion on the guy.
Dear God, is he related to Enzo Amore?
I mean,
He's all like, yeah, they all know who I... He'll walk into a club and you'll be like, yeah, they all know who I am. And then someone in the corner will be drinking their Mai Tai and be like, who brought their dad?
Now, see, I don't even like his entrance into the ring. I mean, he just exudes that arrogance and cockiness, and that's something else I don't like about him.
All right.
It doesn't feel like the ring music, like a character.
I totally get his ring music, but like the way he does come in, he comes in like all bold and cocky. It's like, yeah, you got to beat me to, to win this, and it's just like
that's the difference between a fake. That's the difference between a guy trying to be a tough guy and an actual tough guy.
Right.
All right. So before
the guy that originally used that theme song was a tough guy. Moxley, not so much.
All right, guys. So I think I'm pretty sure after all our stuff, Moxley's dead now. I think we're kicking the corpse by now. So let's move on to the next match. I do want to say all of us went for Hangman Adam Page, so all of us were right. Again, we're not so divisive this time. So the next match here was what eventually would become, I guess, the cool down match, because that was one hell of a bloody ass match though, and then like the hanging was so perfect. But yeah, we had Samoa Joe going up against Wardlow. Samoa Joe is at the time the current AEW TNT champ, so they were fighting for that. And yeah, it's a pretty intense match there. I don't remember too much, but it was, the usual, the big men slapping meat. And of course, in the crowd, we had Samoa Joe. We had Powerhouse Hobbs with the giant Sonic ring, because he knew that whoever would win between the two of them, he would be facing him for the title in the following episode of Dynamite. So he was there, watching it and everything as these guys are just slamming each other. And in the end, it looks like Wardlow actually got Samoa Joe in some kind of submission moves, but I kind of missed it. So if you guys can be more descriptive, I think it was one of those blink and look away. And wow, match over already. And Wardlow got the title. But yeah, it was all right. I mean, I think it could have been a bit better, but I do understand you needed some kind of cool down match after what happened with the previous one,
It was a pretty short match, compared to like some of the other ones, I feel. But I will say this. I wonder if that ring is bigger in person, if fans were just allowed to touch it. No comment on that one. I'm sorry, that whole joke was just bad. And I didn't write it. They did.
Oh my God.
Now,
yeah, they were doing between the joke of, the ring, can I touch it? It's bigger in person and all that stuff. And the whole like touching Daddy Magic, tell me how my nipples feel and all that. I'm like, okay, were Mark Rodriguez and Ricky Rock writing the script for this?
It's weird.
Well, I did hear that there is some sad news that came after that. I actually should have brought this up in the beginning, but it just came across my mind.
Yeah, this is perfect timing for it.
After the taping of that show, what happened was apparently after everybody left and everything, Wardlow's rental car was broken into. And this is not a joke. And all of his gear was stolen, including the title. So this is the second time an AEW title in real life has been stolen.
Now, my understanding was the title was in some kind of, like, it wasn't just out there. It was in some kind of duffel bag or something. So they stole the bag. And I can just imagine, like, what's in the bag. Holy shit, like, when they saw it,
This is the second time a title's been lost. The first time was with
Jericho.
Chris Jericho, but they got that one back. I haven't heard any word on if they've retrieved the title. I mean, nobody's going to exactly, like, kind of be like, yeah, we kind of need to call that in, So, but yeah.
Yeah, that was messed up. I thought it was a work at first until, you see the, saw the little video that he made. And especially when he said, like, whoever did this, if he would have been around, he would have shattered them like glass or whatever he said. He would have beat the crap out of them for, what he said? The glass that was broken in his car, he would have done that to their faces or something. So yeah, I don't think I don't think this is a work.
This
I know
is
I
a
was
public.
thinking it at first.
This is a public service. This is a public service announcement from the Dive and Cutter podcast. We do not condone stealing titles unless they have a really, really cool design and it's really, really easy. Other than that, we do not condone stealing those.
Unless it's Tony Khan staging something himself because he went on a coke bender and he was out of his mind and decided to do it himself.
We also do not condone parking your car anywhere in San Francisco unprotected.
Exactly.
You'd be better off leaving your car parked in the middle of the Street Fighter tournament than it being parked in San Francisco.
Exactly. I'm like, God, do you guys not know how many freaking like homeless people live in San Francisco? Jeez.
Anyway, something like that, I would have kept the bag on me.
You'd think, right? It's only a title.
That
it's pretty bad when the guy. It's pretty bad when Orange Cassidy, who literally lugs it around in a backpack, has it more secure than the guy who won it at a pay-per-view. It's just funny. Anyway,
of course there were jokes on Dynamite when when Wardlow had to fight Hobbs. He said like, I will not lose this title. I was like, okay, there we go. Hey, I'm sorry. The joke wrote itself.
Actually, my favorite joke was when they found out that the title was stolen, someone said, damn, man, they changed the TNT title switched hands so quickly. I'm kind of tired of this TNT hot potato thing,
Actually, you know what would be funny? It would be funny if this was an actual work and then, like, they can't find the title. All this is going on. Then a month later, you see MJF walk up with a bag with the title. He's like, I told you I'd get you back, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, you know what? I've heard that too. I've heard that too.
That would just be downright hilarious.
Is a sign. I think this is a sign that they need to redesign the belt and not make it look stupid. That's my guess. I'm just saying it out there.
But like I said, it's like, I like how they do that. They should do something like that. Take advantage of that and make it to a storyline. It reminds me of in WWE, back in NXT when Malachi Black / Aleister Black got in a real life car accident and they turned it around to a storyline and someone jumped him, someone put him out. And it's like, once he's back, it became, who did it? That kind of shit.
Yeah.
They should do that. That's a good idea. Have MJF come back with the belt and whatever,
Yeah. Well, my thing of it is when it comes to this match, well, first of all, I could tell you, honestly, I couldn't even pretend to care. This was like the dud of the night to me. It was just like, it was there. It was a cool down match. I wasn't really invested in all until the end. So what he did or attempted to do was the move that he was doing, Wardlow was doing, was the Karafuda clutch. It was an attempt to, which is Samoa Joe's finisher, but he put it in wrong. So when you put it in the Karafuda clutch, what you're doing is your arm is going upwards, up your chin, and slowly cutting off circulation. Wardlow put it around his neck, which was literally choking him. And not only that, he had the wrong arm. So he was actually not only choking him, he was choking him and cutting off he was cutting off one of his arteries. Like right here. So he's like he was literally choking him by mistake. So
the move went from the choke me dummy to the choke me daddy. Just what?
Yeah. Yeah. But it was it existed. That's all I could say about it. It exists.
It was a McMahon special. It was just 2 men slapping meat.
One thing I will say that I was surprised about this card, why the hell didn't Jade defend her title?
Because she has to do it in Canada.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
But the thing is,
Yeah.
I don't know who else would have been there. Hasn't even Willow gone up against Jade already too? Like, I don't think there's anyone left that's going, because the only people that are not going against Jade is anyone involved in the current like Britt Baker, Saraya, and all that storyline. Everyone else like is open game. I don't think
That's
there's
why
anyone
I'm saying
left.
they need to bring in like a big name to take her
Max.
out.
Now, not
Maxie and Baylor
100%
would be kinda
sure.
cool.
I heard some rumors because again, next week is their big Canada show. I heard rumors that Taya Valkyrie happens to be in Canada, so it'd be kind of cool because they're kind of hinting that she beat everyone else and whatever. They're kind of hinting that it'll be some kind of surprise guest or something. So
Well, if
people are saying
Impact is in Canada, if Impact is in Canada right now, I don't know if they are. If they are, then there would be more clout to that because right now she's the one half of the Knockouts tag team champion.
Who is?
So if Taya Valkyrie,
yeah,
she's with her
Jordan
and
Grace would be another good one.
Jordan Grace would be awesome. Have you seen her lately? She's in like the
Oh, she's
best shape
jacked.
she's ever
Yes.
been. Yeah, her and Gresham. Gresham got like cut. Like he's not like
monsters.
he's not it's funny. Jonathan Gresham used to be built like weirdly enough like Vegeta when he turned like after he came out of the time chamber and he was like big and bulky, but he was still short. Like Gresham used to be like that, but now he's like lean. And you could tell like it's all just like really cut and muscular.
Gresham is like
Grace is the same way.
Gresham is like, I'm super Gresham.
No,
It's the lightning and shit coming out and the sparks and everything. Exact same Vegeta.
Yeah, but now he's like,
he's got the same tape line.
yeah, but now he's like when Goku turned Super Saiyan God, how he became slimmer.
yeah.
It's like that. It's like, oh, you're slimmer. I can tell you're in better shape. Like it's like that.
Now, one thing that I really doubt will go anywhere because I'm pretty sure she's still for WWE. I did notice that Natalia posted something like, sounds interesting or something like that. And Jay was like, well, bring your ass over then, Natty. But I doubt it because isn't she still under WWE and all that? I'm
She's
pretty
never
sure it
leaving.
would have made some kind of headline if Natalia was no longer with them or
Natalia is a lifer. She's never leaving.
Thoughts, Johnny?
Okay, so I don't really remember too much about this match, but it was a short match, so I know.
There you go. Did you already go, Wendy?
My opinion on this match, this is one where as I was watching it, and then it kind of clicked that I wanted to take back my prediction, but it was too
that's
late.
the one.
Yeah, because it made sense. He has two titles, and I didn't think about like, hey, wait, they're gonna have Ring of Honor, put Samoa Joe Ring of Honor. If he loses one title, it's no big deal because he still have the other one. I didn't take that into consideration. So I just wait for Samoa Joe because they're building him up like a powerhouse anyway because he's Samoan. So all Samoans are powerhouses. Except for Nia Jax, who injures everybody. But anyway.
Now, I'm surprised, though, because it was so quick. I really thought that, like, if Samoa Joe won, I was expecting Hobbs to beat him because, he had the title for a while. But since Wardlow won, I was expecting Wardlow to just beat Hobbs because, he just got the title and maybe there's a chance for him to get a bigger reign because they didn't really do much with him that first time. Once we got off the sugar high, of Wardlow defeating MJF finally after years of abuse and whatever. Like they literally did nothing with him, you know what I mean? So I was thinking that now would have been his chance to do something. So I was really surprised that on Dynamite, Hobbs actually beat Wardlow and got the title. And the weirdest thing too is that QT Marshall helped them cheat and everything. So now I guess Marshall's gonna be his little, manager / toady or whatever for Hobbs. But that felt kind of weird because I felt it kind of weakened, it looks like Hobbs couldn't beat him on his own, like it kind of looked like he needed the help.
I have a theory. My theory is the reason he had Hobbs beat Wardlow is as punishment for losing that title to begin with. I know
you're saying that. This is like a Vince McMahon thing. You got your belt stolen, here's your punishment, bitch.
Yeah, it sounds something Vince McMahon would do.
Yeah.
When you say it, I mean, you piss me off. You're going to lose this match.
Yeah, that does sound like something Vince would do. But the thing is, Tony doesn't have even a fragment of balls compared to Vince. He would be like...
I'll say one thing Tony's better at than Vince. He could beat him at an eye staring contest.
The dude doesn't blink.
He fucking broccoli looking motherfucker. Anyway, he what has anyone else noticed that his hair looks like broccoli? I'm not the only one, right? Has anyone else ever noticed that?
Yeah.
Okay. No, my thing of it is I think I agree with you. I think it was a punishment for Wardlow, but I think it was more of like, I think it was also because they really want to push Hobbs. Because remember, for like weeks and weeks, they've been doing this whole Book of Hobbs thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they don't really know what everyone is like, what the hell is the Book of Hobbs? And he's like, oh, it's the book of my life and the things I've been through. And I'm like, oh, okay. What have you been through? Nah, you wouldn't understand. I've been from the streets. I'm like, okay, well, tell me what you've been through. Well, nah, you wouldn't understand. I'm like, tell me.
The book is massive.
What's in the book?
The book is massive. The book is lengthy. The book is thick.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's a hardcover book.
I bet you it is.
Probably. I don't know where he keeps it in those jeans.
Unless you have the paperback, it's a little soft there.
My thing of it is like I said, I think it's more of like they want to push him and do something with him. And I do agree. I think it was a punishment, but on top of that, I think it was also, I really just think it was just a matter of like, they really just, I don't think they thought through what to do with Wardlow. I think like they were building so much of like, we're going to have you take out MJF and then, the crowd will go crazy. And then it's like, okay, now what? God, there's an after.
Yeah.
They pulled a Marvel. They pulled a Marvel. We're building everything to Endgame, and then they're going to forget.
Question, because I haven't been watching AEW or anything as long as you guys have. Have there been, off the top of your heads, have there been any other, any other wrestlers there that have held the title for such a short amount of time? I mean, because that was what, like 2 or 3 days or something like that?
I think the TNT flip-flop between Scorpio Sky and Sammy Guevara was kind of like that, sort of.
Yeah, because I remember it was like that's right. Because I remember Sammy Guevara won it, and then he got fired or suspended or some crap. It's mostly been like, anytime that's ever happened where they've dropped a title, it's like, they say like, it's usually like behind the scenes bullshit, like they're either sick, or they did something offensive, or they did something like that. But as far as losing it to someone that quickly, I honestly can't think of anyone. Can you guys think of anyone?
No, not that quick.
Not for an AEW title. I don't think so. No. So I agree. So that
was like a 2 or 3 day reign, literally.
Yeah, because it was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, it's less than 3 days.
Yeah, he won it Sunday, lost it Wednesday.
Yeah, it's less than 3 days. So I'm like, yeah, I think you're really onto it, Wendy. I really think that's what it comes down to. It's literally he was punished. I really think that's the only, because they were like, we just gave you the title and you lost it. Like, funny enough, I was thinking about like the other, like, but Vince, see, like even Vince would be more lenient to something like that than Tony. It's weird because I was like, it seems like Tony only gives a crap when it's his stuff. Like, because like there was a time where a couple of years back when Kyrie was the NXT champion, she was the NXT women's champion, and she did this pose and the belt accidentally flung out of her hand into the crowd, and they didn't know what to do because the security guard just didn't see where it went and they didn't want to help him. So then they had to make a replacement, and luckily Triple H had her back, and Vince was like, "Oh, it's a situation. It happens. We were overseas. It's okay. We have backups and da-da-da." And I'm like, well, but Tony's like, "No, you know how much money went into that belt?" And I'm like, apparently not that much. It looks like crap, but okay. I think it was more of like he's kind of one of those guys who's like, he just doesn't like spending his own money on unnecessary things, you know. But he's totally fine spending his dad's money on unnecessary things.
Now, other news real quick before we go to the next match. They also did a thing where Orange Cassidy defended the All Atlantic belt in the last episode of Dynamite against Jeff Jarrett. And now the next episode that they're going to fight in Canada, they're going to rename it. Now it's going to be called the International Belt instead of the All Atlantic belt. So that's something new. And he said the belt is leveled up. And that was a moment that was like him saying the announcement without blinking and with the broccoli hair and all that.
What is it called? What is it called?
Well,
now?
it used to be called the All Atlantic belt, but now it's going to be called the International belt or the International title, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, okay.
I think a lot of people, general consensus was that the name All Atlantic sounded stupid or weird or whatever. So,
well, yeah, because it doesn't make any sense because All Atlantic would only apply to things in the Atlantic. Yeah. So it's like international is at least other nations. That makes sense.
Yeah. Atlantic would be like here.
Yeah. So anyways, for this match, all of us lost because we all went for Samoa Joe. We were not expecting him to lose, but it is true. Even I forgot about that. That yeah, he has the TNT title and the Ring of Honor TV title. If he loses one, who cares? He's still the Ring of Honor TV champion. Forgot about that, but that's a good point. I also didn't think about that till later. But
as we were watching it clicks.
Yeah, we all lost the point there. So the next one here, I think this one was also kind of divisive because we had so many teams. It's a four-way tag team match for the AEW World Championship. It was the Acclaimed Anthony Bowens and Matt Caster against current champions, the Guns, Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn, and Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett with Sanjay Dutt and Satman Singh in the background, and Orange Cassidy and Danhausen, which is, like, they should just call themselves Orangehausen. I still like, okay, it's a brand new team, so what is your official name? Let me see here. Danhausen and Orange Cassidy, instead of calling themselves, but it's a pretty good match. It was entertaining. I like how Satman, well, the tall guy, I forgot, is it Sanjay or Satman, the real tall guy?
Satnam Singh is the big guy.
Thank you. So I like how he came in. I like how Cassidy didn't back down. I think he was giving a stare down to Danhausen, and Cassidy actually got to clock him with the orange punch, so that was fucking badass. I did like that. And, a lot of shenanigans back and forth and stuff, but the Guns retained in the end, and I kind of figured it would. I figured it was a little too soon to lose the title, despite people hating him and stuff, too soon to lose the title and stuff. They posted this comedic thing on Twitter, like one of those little notes that now says that please respect them and don't call us the ass boys or whatever anymore. Please call us the Gun Club or security will escort you out the building or whatever, which of course is like a joke.
Ass boys, ass boys, ass boys.
Yeah.
I just
Can we call them the ass guns?
Oh, that sounds worse. Oh, I just want to just say this. I'm going to run and get a drink, but my opinion on this hold your horses. Anyway, okay, in all honesty, this was a joke prediction, honestly, because I was thinking, like, I went with William on this one. I think it would be funny if Orange Cassidy and Danhausen somehow won. Because I kind of like what he was saying, and I agreed with him, even though I didn't fully believe they would win. I just wanted it to happen. So yeah, that's all I got to say about that one. I just thought it was hilarious. I like Danhausen more than I realized. They're fun, especially him. I mean, he's such a doofus. I love it.
Well, I love that they actually got to let Danhausen wrestle a little because he is an actually good wrestler, but they don't want him to wrestle, which is stupid because it's a wrestling company. But then at the same time, I look at Satnam Singh, and he never wrestles. He's just a tall guy who's just like,
Yeah, that's surprised. I keep asking myself, has he ever had an actual match? I mean, maybe on Dark or something.
yeah, once, and it was in an 8-man tag, and he was in the ring for like less than a minute.
Yeah,
and he's
but
just like,
then in the same
throw
token,
people
I
around.
haven't seen Sanjay Dutt wrestle since he's been in AEW, and I'm just like, why is he even there? Because
I can
I've
tell you
seen him
why
wrestle-
he's there. He used to wrestle. He actually has a broken neck, so he can't wrestle anymore.
Oh, okay.
So Jay Lethal basically was like, "Hey, could he come in as like our manager, my manager?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." Basically,
Okay.
so, yeah, he
I
couldn't
remember how
actually
he was back in the X division of like classic TNA,
Yeah,
because
he was good.
AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels used to put on some mad, insane matches, and I'm like, why is he not in the ring? What's going on here?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
he has a
think
broken
did
neck.
something.
That's why. Yeah.
So broken
Yeah.
neck. So Kurt
Yeah,
Angle can win a freaking gold medal with a broken neck, and he can't.
Well, I mean, I
Well,
would talk shit about Saraya, but I'd just be being a pain in the neck. So you know.
Oh, damn. No, when honestly, I was literally hoping anyone but the Acclaimed. I've made no
Yeah.
qualms about how much I hate them. Like, is it me? Are you guys? I haven't been on here in a while. Are you guys now seeing what I was saying before about the scissoring thing?
Yeah.
Oh, we know it's
Are you
stupid.
all seeing it now? Okay,
know,
good.
You
Oh,
know,
we know
the
it's
sad
true.
part about it.
Although we're gonna Wendy, Johnny, and I are gonna be hanging out soon, and we are gonna pose doing the whole,
Why?
The sad part
I'm
about
being
it,
blackmailed. I'm being blackmailed.
I can see them going against the guns and somebody using the phrase "scissor my ass" somewhere.
Oh yeah, I'm like, oh god.
Oh,
Well, they already
Wow.
say scissor. They already say scissor me daddy ass. That's already even fucking gross as itself. So I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah,
I would
Jesus.
literally, you know what? It would be funny if they said, it's like, I want to hear Jeff Jarrett just be like, I want to take those scissors and shove them up your ass, slap notes. Like that's what I wanted. I wanted to hear.
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
I wanted to hear this in that fight. I was actually, I was rooting for either the Guns to retain or, Jarrett and Lethal to get a run because I want to see them. Or actually, honestly, I Danhausen and Cassidy. I don't want Cassidy, but if it was Danhausen and like someone else, I wouldn't care. But I would mainly because I'm like, I was kind of hoping Cassidy would have been defending his title, even on the pre-show. I thought the pre-show only had one match.
Yeah,
He would have just ended it
threw
on
me.
that instead.
Who was that guy, anyways? I could have sworn I've seen him before. Was he like on previous AEW shows? He looks familiar. The interview guy, the one that wasn't Renee.
I think he's like I don't know who he is. I think he was like on Dark Elevation now. Some guy on Dark
he
Elevation
looks familiar.
or whatever, like the 14. And now they got what's the name of that new show that they're coming out with? The behind the scenes.
All access, AEW All Access, which is like behind.
How many shows does that make now? it's
Like
it's Dynamite, Rampage.
I don't like that
Dark
because it does the
Elevation
whole,
tag.
I know
Yes,
it's not real, but we don't need an actual behind. I mean, that's WWE shit. Let them do their behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We don't need
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what we were talking about the other night. We saw the commercial for it. I was like, no, yeah, that's how I feel about it. I mean, we already know it's not real. We know it's cave. It's not. Don't re-emphasize it. Let us enjoy our suspension of disbelief. I mean, if we want to see a
Yes.
couple of fools going around rapping and wanting to scissor everybody, let's believe they want to go around and scissor everybody, looking like fools and idiots. I'm sorry, Nick,
But
please.
as it pertains to the match itself, it was okay. It was just like joke stuff after joke stuff. Like I said, the highlight for me was getting to see Danhausen actually wrestle because I never get to see him wrestle anymore. And he's got a lot of talent. He really does remind me of like, I know it's a weird comparison. He reminds me a lot of like young Ring of Honor CM Punk when he used to wrestle, like his style of wrestling. But it's weird that they don't let him wrestle. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Oh, And
But could it
going
be,
back to
didn't you say he had some kind of injury? Maybe he just never fully healed or whatever, so they want to protect him.
he had an injury. He basically had the same injury Edge had with the not the neck, the remember years back Edge had the Achilles heel thing, his tendons or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the injury. Like that's all he had was just he had some issue with his right leg, and then he had to get some screws in his leg. But but that was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. He should be fine now to still go. I mean,
I remember when he first came in, he was just doing silly shit and not actually getting in the ring. And I think you did mention he had some kind of injury or whatever. And
yeah, but I'm like, but he was in Ring of Honor. He's still doing stuff, and that was like, he was already injured by then, but it was still like, it's like I don't know, but it was okay. It was an okay match. It was like I said. I think same thing with the Joe. I think it was the Joe match. It was just kind of a palate cleanser. I think it was just kind of a thing it's what I refer to as a popcorn match for me. One of those matches like, oh, what's next? Okay, I'm going to go to the concessions.
Like, I don't know. Like, honestly, I still feel like Housen and Orange Cassidy should have won, mainly just to keep like a comedic competition going on between them and the Guns. Like, just from the comedy alone from the next couple of months, right up to the next pay-per-view, would have been worth tuning in.
It also would have made more sense too if they did win, because Danhausen was the one who started calling them ass boys.
Mm-hmm. Now, on the other hand, it would be funny if he kind of betrayed Orange Cassidy and joined the Guns, and it would have been Asshausen. But like at that point, it would have been comedy gold. But no, like still, it would have been funny because it would have been a comedic run that would have kept people watching right up until the pay-per-view, and that was an opportunity that they kind of shot. But as far as the match goes, was still pretty, high flying. Orange Cassidy doing his usual 0 to Mach 6 style wrestling, which I do enjoy. Kind of gets old at times, but it's still enjoyable once he goes full speed. But overall, it was an okay match. Like, you notice I didn't say anything about Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, because I'm just like, why the hell are you two even there? Like, there was no point of them even being there except for Jarrett showing up and being like, I got my guitar. That's about it.
I think the only reason that I really
they could have replaced some of the
oh no,
all the teams. So you got the Acclaimed, you got even Cassidy and Housen. They're somewhat been in the indies for a while, but as far as like the professional level, no, not much. And then you have the Gun Club. All of those teams are still really green, like as far as on the pro circuit. But then you have Lethal and Jarrett, who are both very, very long-term veterans. Yeah. So I think they had to be there just to basically make sure the chaos of three fresh teams don't have this train go off the rails. I think they were basically just trying to keep the train going. Basically, I think that's all it was.
Which honestly, considering those teams, it wouldn't have been too much of a snoozer match for you to just let it go off the rails. I mean, I think it would have honestly been better that way if, they would have been able to do that, maybe do a little improvisation here and there. I honestly think it would have been a much better match, but it would get high-paced, real intense, and it's like, oh, and somebody tagged in Jeff Jarrett. It's like, yeah. Oh. that's just what happened every time. It was like, yes, this match is getting freaking awesome. And there's Jeff Jarrett. Okay, I'm gonna go make a hot pocket. Fuck this. That's just where it got to. And honestly, like I said, it was a good match. It would have been better, sadly, if two people were not in it. That's just my opinion.
No,
I get what you're saying, but there's sometimes you just gotta let it go right the hell off the rails.
Any thoughts, Johnny?
J-Rod?
For this match, I don't really remember too much what was going on in this match, but I did want to, I don't know, see more of Danhausen, and it would have been good if he won the match, I guess. Other than that, I really don't remember too much about the match. And from the sound of it, from what you guys are talking about the match, it doesn't sound like something that's worth watching on a pay-per-view, to be honest. That's all I'm going to say.
Did you go one?
Yeah, it was more of a Dynamite match than a pay-per-view.
All right. So this one, no one gets a point because all y'all went for Danhausen and Cassidy, and I went for, not that I wanted him to win, but I was kind of thinking that, I'm thinking that Jay Lethal and Jarrett would have taken this regardless if you wanted to or not, but none of them won. The guns retained, and so none of us got a point.